to cut it out at the 12-hour mark. I think it would be good to really watch this interview with, let me see, it's with Pat King. Oh, Pat King. It was really good, but I want you guys to try and look a little bit deeper into it and not just watch it, if that makes any sense.
Welcome to the show.
Like, try and listen to like what's actually said.
Two incredible friends and individuals that you may.
We want to thank you again. Okay, so so Pat just announced Saturday, February 5th, we are going to make use of all the cleared streets in partnership with the Game On Canada. Follow Hug a Trucker page on Facebook for times and locations. Games start at 1:30. Saturday, February 5th at 7 p.m. we will be having a trucker meet and greet party. It will be on Parliament grounds with live music and fireworks. So it sounds like it's game starting at 1:30 tomorrow. Okay, so let's see if I can find this interview again. It's with Justin Trudeau's brother. There's a lot going on in this one, and I just don't know how much I need to probably not be on audio watching this. I have a lot to say about this. It's just a...
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Amina Moat.
Okay, so... Okay, look at the Aussies on the bottom, you guys. Okay, so this is the interview with Justin Trudeau, his brother, and Pat King. And I want you guys to listen to this. I think it could be...
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Amina Motala, and I am here with two incredible friends and individuals that you may or may not know. I'd like to introduce to you Kyle Kemper.
Oh, thank you, Sonny.
He's here with us, a very good friend of mine, and he's here to join us to have a great discussion of what's going on in Ottawa. Kyle Kemper is the half-brother of Justin Trudeau, and he's here to say a lot about...
When I say the world's a stage and there's many actors, I could not stress it more with this interview.
King, who's talking from Ottawa, and he has been leading the convoy from out west and numerous other great work that he's done prior to this event. I've known Pat for a couple of years too as well, and as you know, Pat knows, we've all been on the front lines doing a lot of work for freedom. So welcome, gentlemen, and this is the first time you're both meeting, so I'm very pleased and honored to have you both here and have a great discussion. So welcome.
Thanks for having me, Amina. And nice to meet you, Kyle.
Great to meet you too, Pat. Much love and gratitude for, being a catalyst for this incredible energy and this incredibly high vibration that Ottawa hasn't seen in a very, very long time. And, it feels like, every day we're getting more and more small wins, and let's just keep going with that. So I'm really grateful to be here, and pleasure to be truly connected, and looking forward to this discussion.
This energy that was brought here is absolutely what Ottawa's needed for a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. I've always stepped on the grounds in Ottawa, and I've also always felt an energy drain. But there's something here that is not good. And we need to rechange that frequency in this country, in this province, and in this town itself, because there's too much negativity here, and it needs to be that vibe.
Stunt dummies in the house.
It's interesting you say that, because you're an outsider coming into Ottawa, where Kyle and I have both lived there for many years, and I have the same sentiment. I feel the same way about that city, the darkness. And that, yes, there's a beautiful side to it for sure. There's beautiful people there. But, the administration that runs this place, the oligarchs, the Parliament Hill, that whole entire entity that's there, I've always felt the heaviness and the darkness there. I don't know, Kyle,
I'm from Ottawa.
So good to see you, stunt dummy. Welcome.
But yes, I mean,
This interview
also
just started.
Have felt a great darkness in Ottawa. I feel like there's like, you know, in plain sight, like everywhere, every single Ottawa city logo. Like if you take a second just to look at the logo, it's very clear. It's 666. And you know, I think that these are you know, spells that are in plain sight, and that's something that, you know, hopefully gets addressed, because Ottawa is a very powerful town. Like, you know, well before it was named Ottawa, it is a convergence of three rivers, and there's just a lot going on to it, and you know, it has huge symbology and sacredness within the you know, the First Nations community, if you want to call them that, or the Indigenous, like the elders of the land, the tribals. The tribes is one of the great meeting points, and you know, long ago they decided to dam up one of our sacred falls that's more important than that's like, you know, it's equivalent of like Niagara Falls, and they, you know, use the power to fuel government buildings and a paper factory that is right downtown Ottawa. And I know there's a lot of people, and they've desecrated a sacred site in doing that as well. So, you know, I'm talking about like, you know, domination, desecration. That's old, but these are some of the underlying kind of issues that Ottawa has with it. But at the same time, it is also, you know, it is our federal capital. It is where decisions are getting made, and it is where, you know, generally representatives of Canada come together to discuss the future of Canada. And right now, thanks to Pat King and, you know, thousands of other organizers and people who have been influential in making this all happen, like, you know, we're seeing Canada being lit up with possibility, and this is vibrating out all around the world too, where we're seeing others view like, wow, this is a really powerful, you know, tactic towards bringing people together. And like I mentioned, like a high vibration, you know, behind me I've got a picture of like, you know, the Cup Unity 2022 the street hockey game that's taken place on Wellington Street. And then I saw some videos of like the party going on, like, you know, outside the Hill. And it really kind of, it reminds me a little bit of Burning Man, which is an unbelievable experience of unity. And I think a lot of those principles are being applied here, you know, with all the gifting that's taking place, the radical inclusion. Like, it's not like as much as it gets painted by, you know, the actors on the other side, to try and smear this and dismiss this as like something that it isn't. What it really is, and what everybody there knows is, and what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing within like the freedom movement globally too, is that, you know, this is something very major, and you know, I'm you know, I this is the first time in a very long time I've actually wanted to be in Ottawa.
That's awesome.
Funny.
Well, I want to just address this, Kyle. You're absolutely right. You know, this is the vibes that we're going. It's like a giant tailgate party that has that Ottawa's been needing for a while. But
Again, tailgate party?
I was here, and I just want to dive right into it. I've been a thorn in your brother's side for a very long time.
It's a freedom movement.
Because I don't like him. It's because of the fact that what he's been doing to our people and doing to Canada in general, it's just not allowed when we look at what's happening. So you said something really important the other night that hit home to me, and I know it to be true. And you said, whatever they have on you, Justin, you need to address that. And I'm just curious, and I know we can get into deeper, darker, weirder things, but what do you think your brother's reasoning is to be doing this to the Canadian people and tarnishing our cultural ways and who we are as Canadians? What is the drive that is his reasoning for all of this? What do you
Right. Well, I mean, I'm going to start by saying, like, Justin is, you know, the leader of the Liberal Party, and everything that's coming out of his mouth right now is written. All of his tweets are being produced by a team. All of his statements, he is the face and, like, you know, the lead spokesperson for the Canadian government, but the policy and the initiatives that are driving it and that are driving his this narrative that he continues to push, which in my opinion is decidedly anti-Canadian and anti-freedom, is like coming down from, the higher ups, from, groups like the World Economic Forum, like the Council on Foreign Relations, like Bilderberg, etc. And they recognize, we need to have these strong kind of agents within governments. And I think one of the things we've seen is all around the world, we have, I'll be frank, weak leaders, who are able to like act as kind of spokespeople, and he's not speaking from his heart. I don't honestly believe, there is not candid. There's no discussion. This is why he's afraid to, or this is why he's not being allowed to actually engage with the Freedom Convoy and with these people, because there's a lot to unpack here, and there's a lot of serious questions, and the truth is easily debated, but lies can't be debated. So it's like you don't even enter the debate when you were dealing with lies. So and then also when you look at the history of people like Jeffrey Epstein, what their role was, to trap people and blackmail people, and you think about a lifetime of opulence and opportunity, you're probably you make mistakes, or you get coerced into doing something bad. And I've heard from multiple people, not specific to Justin, but of situations where all of a sudden it's this girl comes out of nowhere and she's on it, and you're in a special room or a special house, and it's come on, let's do that. Oh, you're married, but they're pushing, they're trying to make something happen. And this is how when a camera's on, then it's recorded, then you're blackmailed. And so blackmail is a very powerful tool. And I'm not suggesting, I don't have any evidence. I'm not saying anything, but generally, if we know that whole infrastructure is in place, to keep people in power accountable and on narrative, as a prime minister, as one of the leaders of one of the great nations of the planet, you can come to your own conclusions about what might have taken place, and that would kind of and that's part of this committing yourself to this cause. Okay, going to get all this power and you're going to get all this wonderful world, but you got to do this line. And when you commit to that, and then you don't know that, 10 years later or whatever, we're going to all of a sudden impose medical tyranny and tantamount to genocide on a population. Man, I didn't sign up for that. Well, it doesn't matter that you didn't sign up for that, because you're in it now. You've got to do it because we've got you by the balls. So
right.
By the way, Kyle, so in 2020 he did an article he was interviewed by the National Post, and he spoke openly and factually from his point of view, and it caused him, for his family, to shut him out. So he's been going over a year now without any contact, and they don't talk to him because he went against the establishment. So.
Yeah, and that article too, that was an interview article that I did with a reporter, and then obviously they cherry picked what they wanted. And I'll be fair to them, they did a good job. They didn't I told them, I was I'm going to talk about Event 201. I want you to know about Event 201. But I guarantee you try and put it in your story, just try. It's not going to make it to the publishing. And
you lost your voice sound there, Pat.
Say something.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to say something.
Okay,
but anyway, that was the nice thing about, I don't know, I felt what I liked about,
So Pat was just too busy talking to other people in the room to be paying attention to the interview. Just
this
FYI.
present, you can see me, you can see her. We're having a good discussion about this, because when you take quotes and you put them in articles and you line it up with this I dissent, anti-vaxxer, labels and subjugation, then it kind of creates a narrative. And I know, Pat, you're dealing with that too.
Absolutely.
They're trying to label you as trying to dismiss you and put you into this little corner. And I think one of the most important things that all of us need to kind of realize in this is they're just trying to bait us and trying to get us angry,
Divide us.
because when we get angry, when you let somebody make you angry, you're giving them power. So let's not let anybody make us angry here. Listen to those things, understand where they're coming, but be the better person, and just, don't let it get you angry. Fight fear and like negative attacks with love and truth and purpose. And when we come from this purpose point of view of what is the purpose of the convoy truck, I mean, I think it's about freedom in Canada and restoring freedom in Canada. And we believe in a Canada that is free. Who disagrees with that? If that is your highest level purpose, that is an umbrella that people can come together underneath. And then when you get into the specifics, as we get deeper within it, there's naturally going to be disagreements. Some people want to go this way, some people want to go that way. But as long as we can all agree on this high level, massive transformational purpose that we want Canada to be a free and prosperous country, then we can all operate from that share. We've got common ground, and we can recognize too that we do not seek rulers. We do not believe in non-sovereign actors like controlling our lives and having access, being able to dictate that we must take these fake vaccines and experimental drugs in order to survive and thrive.
Well, and you're right, and that's what this is all about, and it is about freedom, it is about body autonomy, it is about choice. But my thing is with this is he needs to be a leader that stands up for his people. He needs to be a leader who can present himself in a manner that earns the respect of a nation. And calling people derogatories by minority fringe movements, racists, misogynists. Mm-hmm. I have a mother, Kyle, and I know you do too. And they taught us how to be respectful to people and everybody. We don't just fly off the handle and utter words out of our mouths that just appease what we want to say. What is his reasoning for calling us people that are misogynists, racists? Why would he say that? What kind of upbringing was he brought in to be able to look at people that he is a leader of and speak to us in such derogatory terms? I know you don't speak for him, but a little bit of insight of who Mr. Fancy Socks is would be great.
Yeah, I think it's it's coming from a place of fear now. Is what it is. Justin likes to be the popular person, and I don't see any path forward for him out of this. It's I was looking at his kind of Mayan dream spell, ancient kind of reading the other day, and it was intoned that he needs to have a symbolic kind of death. It doesn't mean actually dying, but in his life there needs to be this big symbolic death. And I feel like right now this is his opportunity to die this symbolic kind of death from a political career point of view, and step out. He's lost the confidence of the people, and if he continues to go down this path, it's just going to get gnarlier and gnarlier. But if he chooses, if he can just say enough is enough, and I'm out, and I've lost the confidence of the people. I've lost the mandate of the people. I already represent a small minority of the people. But then for him to,
they always give a shred of proof.
Will trigger global freedom. It will not. It will. That vibration will spread everywhere. And I think so. This is where his sign is a world bridger. So this is his opportunity to bridge this world from this this Piscean age of control and hierarchical dominance to this Aquarian decentralized energy age position that we need to go. And we've really, one of the things I feel like we are right now is we need the systems that we're using are completely broken, and representative democracy in its current function doesn't serve at all the will of the people. It is used as a means to kind of control the people. And, you know, as we're going to see, like when I come from a place of cryptocurrency and decentralization, which you might have your feelings on, but, you know, with a blockchain, you've been able to create a decentralized ledger. And with the emergence of DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, you can basically recreate a lot of these structures, but in a very transparent, accountable manner. And indeed, it's how communities. It's like, you know, they're unincorporated communities.
The greatest pattern and example that Jesus showed us, what he displayed at the cross. You remember when they spit on him, when they were hating on him? He said, "Forgive them, for they don't know what they do." Yes, he loved us anyways. He loved them anyways. The time that we despised them, the time we pushed them away, say, "I don't want your ways, I want to do my thing." He still loved us. I'm forever grateful for that type of love. Thank you, Father God. Bless my enemies, my family, and my friends. Yes.
So, it isn't fair, don't even dare to compare. I don't keep too many squares in my square. I'm not a checkerboard player. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. And though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Because you are with me, Lord. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, and my cup overflows. Surely, goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.